Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, teacher.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Fine.
That's good. That's good to hear. How was your week?
Mm,
So-so? All right. Okay, let's begin here. So we have 11 people. I would like for more people to come now, but let's wait a little bit. In the meantime, uh, probably you remember this, but in our previous session, in our previous class, you were introducing yourselves. Remember that? And just one thing, for this moment, for this time being, I would like you to turn on your microphones so that you can interact a little bit and speak with me. Okay? So please, in order to speak, don't forget to turn on your microphones. However, I would appreciate if then after you speak, you turn them off again, because otherwise we might be getting lots of noises from everybody. Okay, not everybody is able to keep it quiet at their homes, and that's understandable, right? And not everybody is able to stop every sound that is coming from their houses or even from outside their houses that is still getting filtered into the computer, you know. So I understand that, but because of that, I would like you to turn on your microphones the moment you want to speak. If you want to ask a question or if you want to answer a question that I ask, okay, that I would appreciate, because otherwise it's kind of hard to continue with the classes this way if you do not interact, right? If we do not interact. So, but please do that. If you want to speak, turn on your microphone, and then after you speak, please turn it back off, okay? Do you understand?
yes, teacher.
Sir? Yes, that's right. I'm sorry. What was the question? Okay, never mind. All right, good. Good. So, in a previous class, in last Saturday, you were introducing yourselves. Okay, so I asked a few of you to introduce yourselves. Just stating three very simple things. Just stating your name, your major. Do you remember what is your? Let me share this screen for a bit. Just a second, okay? But well, I was telling you that there is a difference in the previous class between career and major. Now, what is the difference? What is the difference between your career and your major? Let me just share this screen for a bit. Okay, there we go. So we have these two terms. Can you see the screen? We have these, right? We have major and we have career. Sorry, career. Okay? Now, what is the difference between the two? Are you able to see the screen well? Do you know what is the meaning of these words? What is the meaning of career?
Career.
That's right. And what is the meaning of major? Bueno, en algunos casos major puede ser mayor, but there's another meaning here. What is major?
Teacher, I think career is like related with job, and major is related with, for example, if I want to study medicine, is related with medicine.
Exactly. Yes. Perfect. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I'm sorry, what is your name?
Emilia.
Emilia. What Emilia says is absolutely correct. Okay? So they are both translated into Spanish as carrera, but yes, if you're speaking about your job, if you're speaking about what you do for a living, when you're making money to live, right? regarding jobs, that is your career. But if you're speaking about what you study at university, that is your major. And there's a very common misconception here, a very common, well, more than misconception, just practical mistake in this case, that a lot of people say, yeah, my career is graphic design. Okay, that's good. If you're working in graphic design, if you're designing and making money out of it, then that's your career. But if you're studying graphic design, that is your major at the university. Okay? Is that clear for everybody? Do you understand? Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, so speaking of that, in a previous class, I was asking you to introduce yourselves. I asked you to give me your name, to tell me what you study. In other words, to tell me your major. All right. And I also asked you to tell me a little bit about yourselves. For example, I gave you this example in the previous class, right? I said, I'm Antonio Gonzalez. That's first just my example. I study, well, of course, in your cases, it's going to be whatever you study. For example, I don't know, I study civil engineering. Sorry. There we go. I study civil engineering, and I gave you the example. For example, I love listening to rock music. Okay, for example, just an example. It can be anything you like. Okay, so a few people introduced themselves in the previous class last Saturday. I would like for some more people to introduce themselves. Okay, so please turn on your microphones, and if you didn't introduce yourselves in the last class, please, just a few of you, let me know who you are, okay?
Teacher, can I?
Yeah, sure.
I'm Marimelia Aviles. I prefer Emmy.
Mhm.
I study medicine. I love read. I love read books, especially Julius Verne's books.
Oh, interesting.
Uh, and I love basketball too.
Nice. Very good, very good. So, and what do you have a favorite book, a favorite novel by Jules Verne?
Yes, it's a like a physics book. But it's a science fiction book too. So it goes. I don't know the name in English, but is de la Tierra a la Luna.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, the name is exactly the same in English. In that case, because you know sometimes the name changes a lot. But in this case, it is From the Earth to the Moon. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like that book too.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah, I read it a long time ago. But especially, well, I was a big fan, and I am still a fan. I am still a fan of his work. Yeah, it was ahead of its time. It was science fiction in the day, but you know, sometimes, a lot of times, science fiction ends up being real science, right? It's like a prediction of
Yes.
the future, right?
Yes, a lot of people say that Julius Verne's book is like a real conception of the world. So I think it could be real in some cases, but a lot of people that think that the books are real call Bernianos, and that's so interesting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's even like a little bit of conspiracy theory and everything in there, right?
Yes.
Yes. Very good, very good. Interesting. And you play basketball, right?
Yes.
Do you like to play I'm sorry, do you like to watch basketball games on TV and stuff?
Yes, I love, but in the last champion, that's right. I
¿Campeonato o campeón?
no campeonato.
In
Sería
the last championship. Mhm.
championship. I can't see it because I have to do a lot of homework and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I understand. I get it. Trust me that I get it. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was very good. Emilia, right?
Yes, Amy.
Nice to meet you, Emilia. Nice to meet you. Okay,
Me
very good. Anybody else, please? Just a second, okay? But please tell me. Back. Okay. Who else would like to introduce themselves? Please do, because otherwise this gets pretty boring if nobody speaks. Don't be
Hi,
afraid.
teacher.
Hello.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, Jose.
Hi. Yes, my name is Jose Ventimilla. I'm studying in marketing. I'm in sixth. Yes,
Nice.
sixth. Yes, this is my second chance in intermediate three because the first one I failed. So I try to pass this time because I'm kind of good talking English, but in writing or I don't know things like that, I medium. So I like to practice that and do
Mhm.
my best this time.
Sure,
Yes,
sure.
yes, I'm like just like you. I like listening to rock music. I'm like sports. So this time is very difficult to me because I don't see too much sports.
Sure.
But yes.
Sure, I get it, Jose. I get it. But I like your attitude that you want to do your best and you want to improve because you know
Yes.
everybody has different strengths sometimes. Yeah, some people are better at speaking, some people
Mhm.
are better at reading, different skills of English, right?
Yes.
Some people are not very good at listening. It's very hard for them to understand what they hear in a movie or things like that, but they are very good at reading. For example, my mom, she knows a lot of English. She can understand books, very complex books, read them without a problem. But when she sees a TV show or a movie or things like that, she's not able to understand very well what people say. So yeah, that is a fact. But yes, of course, we need to for the better or for the worse, we need to know all the skills of English. So yes, but I like your attitude that you want to improve in that. That's very good. That's very good. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna try and help everybody with everything in my possibilities to help you improve in what you need to improve for everybody. And now you like rock music. So would you tell me what are some of your favorite bands?
For example, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I have a little collection of CD records of Pink Floyd. I have 22 CD records.
Nice.
I like bands like this AC/DC.
The classics.
Yeah, the classics. Yes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of those bands as well. Nice. And you know, you're probably one of the very few young people that I know that has CDs.
Yes, because my uncles
Mhm.
they love Pink Floyd. My uncle in the I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years ago, he traveled to Colombia to see Roger Waters. So they gave me this little collection of CDs who
Nice.
include this of Bob Marley, Metallica, Santana.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a wide, also a very
Yes,
varied collection of things. Nice,
yes,
nice,
yes,
nice. That's nice
very
to
good,
hear.
very good collection.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I went to see
Very
Roger
special.
Waters last year. He
No,
played in Lima.
in Lima. I can't. Yes, I'm missing that.
Sorry. Would you repeat that last part? There was a noise here and I couldn't hear.
I can see Roger Waters, so I miss that.
Yeah, sure.
That.
Yeah, I get it. It's not easy, right? Because it's a different country and everything. It's not always easy to travel just for a concert, right?
Yes.
Yes, I had to make lots of arrangements, get somebody to fill in for me, to replace me at work, teaching and everything. It was expensive too, so yeah, it's a big thing, right?
Yes, it's very difficult.
That's right. Well, thank you very much, Jose. That was very nice.
Thank
It's
you.
nice to know from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, teacher.
All right, very good. Let's go with because of time issues. Let's go with one more person. Okay, who would like to introduce themselves today? Don't be afraid. Sometimes this happens, right? As we were saying, sometimes our skills are different, right? We are all, we are all intermediate 3. We've all gone through the courses, but sometimes some people are not very good at listening, but they make up for it, lo compensan, because they're good at reading. Sometimes people are not very good at writing, but they are good at speaking, so they make up for it, lo compensan, make up for, lo compensan. So maybe some of you feel that you're not very good at speaking, so you're afraid to talk, but I would please ask you to not be afraid, because I'm not judging here, okay? This is not a judgment, no es un juicio, no les estoy juzgando, ¿sí? All right? Por supuesto, vamos a tratar de ir mejorando, but please don't feel apprehensive about speaking during these sessions, okay? No sientan miedo de hablar durante estas sesiones porque va a ser importante, pues no, esta interacción. Si no fuera la idea interactuar con ustedes en estas clases, que pueda yo responder preguntas, que pueda un poquito evaluar en tiempo real, en la medida de lo posible, porque obviamente hay la limitante a veces del internet, que no está funcionando bien, que no se escucha tan bien y demás. Además se pierde mucho del lenguaje corporal, de verles a ustedes sus expresiones y todo, que es importante también. Pues aún así, la idea de estas sesiones es justamente eso, la interacción, ¿cierto? Si no fuera así, pues simplemente yo podría, qué sé yo, pues mandarles conferencias de YouTube y hacer mucho autoaprendizaje por ese lado, pero se perdería un poco la idea del Zoom, que sirve justamente para emular en gran medida lo que sería una clase face to face, ¿sí? Entonces les pido por favor que no tengan miedo de hablar en estas clases y que procuren hacerlo, porque en esencia de eso se trata. That's what it is all about, okay?
Okay.
All right, so please, anybody, well, a lot of you introduced yourselves in the previous class. Anybody who didn't introduce themselves, just let's go with one more person.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Stephanie Martinez. I am in the 3rd year of law. I love dancing, running, and watching movies. I would like to work in an ONG, for example, the United Nations Refugee Agency. And this is all.
Okay, very good. Nice to hear from that, Michelle. So, would you like reading? You like dancing? You like watching movies?
Running and watching movies.
I'm sorry, running. Okay, nice. And what kind of music do you like to dance to?
All kind of music I would like to dance.
All right, very good, very good. So, for example, I don't know, do you like salsa, merengue, those kinds of music?
Yes, I do. I like it.
All right, very good, very good. And do you like to listen to other types of music as well, not just dance music, but other types of music, or it's dance music is your thing?
For listening, I prefer pop in English and electronic music.
Oh, nice. Nice. Do you have any favorite artist, any favorite singer or DJ or things like that?
I like New Kids on the Block.
Okay, good.
And Jennifer Lopez, Selena Gomez.
All right.
These kind of artists.
Okay, good. So we're with classics today. Like the New Kids on the Block, they are from my days.
Yes, my mom listening this group and I hear it.
Yeah. Nice, nice. Okay, very good. And what kind of movies do you like to watch?
Horror movies. My favorite movies are Us and Get Out. Both movies are by Jordan Peele.
Uh-huh. Okay, very good. So you like some intense emotions there.
Yes,
Okay, good, good, good. And you study law, right?
yes, yes, I
Very
do.
good. And you pronounce it very well, by the way, because you know, a lot of people, if you take a look at the screen, yes, law, right? Ley, but also, of course, derecho, lo entenderemos así, pues, ¿no es cierto? Right? So
Yeah.
a lot of people pronounce this like they read him, like lao or something like that, or low or something. But you said it very well. It's law. Remember something. When I put something between slashes, that is just to speak about the pronunciation, okay? So yeah, when you have AW in English, the correct pronunciation is like an O. So this is not low. Low means bajo. See, low sería L-O-W, eso es bajo, no? It's not loud. The word loud doesn't exist in English. So what you said is very well. Law. This is the correct pronunciation. And not just for this, but for every word that has AW. So yeah, very good, very good. And you want to work on an ONG, right?
Yes,
Okay, that's very humanitarian also on your part.
yes, because to help people who, for many reasons, must leave their country.
Yeah, that's the spirit that people should have in the world, right? So I congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, and your name is Stephanie, right?
Yes,
Okay, very good, very good. Nice to meet you, Stephanie. Okay, nice. Thank you. I really appreciate when you interact and when you speak during my classes. I really do. So thank you very much for that. Thank you. Okay, now, on a previous class, we were speaking about some of the aspects that are important about speaking, right? We spoke about pronunciation, we spoke about intonation, which is also important. We spoke about, you know, the structure, the grammar, the vocabulary is also very important. But particularly, we were speaking about fluency, right? You know, that is to be able to say things not too slowly, with not too many pauses between words, so that you can express yourself in a natural way like you would do in Spanish. Because as I was telling you, if you speak too slowly or with too many pauses between words, demasiadas pausas entre palabras, it breaks the communication process to a degree, right? So that is the reason why I sent this homework that you were able to send until today, right? So I had some communication problems with some people, so we might speak about that so that you can do it if you didn't do it. However, for now, it was just for extra points, right? Because that is what was agreed on by the academic board, la Junta Académica. It was decided that during the first classes, durante las primeras clases, todo deber o trabajo fuera por puntos extras, no absolutamente requerido dentro de su promedio. It wasn't fully required for your average. But anyway, if you haven't been able to do it, I'm going to give you some chances to do that. I'll explain that via WhatsApp later on, okay? But yeah, the objective of that homework was for you to practice your fluency. And as I told you, for some people, that is not even needed so far. Some people already speak very well. Well, it's always good to practice. The more you practice, the better. Always, right? Because otherwise you get rusty too. A veces, inclusive, si ya hablan bien, nos podemos oxidar un poquito si no lo estamos haciendo muy continuamente, ¿cierto? Son destrezas, son habilidades. Inclusive con el español, si se van a vivir 15 años en Estados Unidos y no hablan español, les prometo que dentro de 15 años no van a estar tan bien con el español como están este rato, ¿no es cierto? That's right, because it's all about practice. We take it for granted, lo damos por hecho, lo damos por sentado. We take it for granted, but everything we do is practice, right? Everything we do is practice. So even in that case, even if you are already very good at speaking, it's always good to practice, okay? Now, today, first, before we continue or before we get into much book content and things like that, since we are at this level, I think there are some elements of English or some particular aspects of English that can be very beneficial for you to improve on or to keep learning, especially if you haven't done it already. More than anything at this intermediate level, okay? So for example, this is something that you encounter a lot of times. What are you more familiar with, American English or British English?
American.
Probably, yeah. That's right. Probably, yes. Probably most of us are more familiar with American English, but and of course, it is the most widespread English, so it makes sense. It makes sense. So in a way, it's good, right? That's the one you're most familiar with. However, well, first of all, what is the meaning of however?
Con frecuencia.
However,
Sin embargo.
Sin embargo,
so however, this might happen. For example, you're taking an exam to get into a master's degree, into your graduate studies or things like that, okay? And you want to get into your graduate studies, you have to take a test, an English proficiency test, and the audios, well, the reading too, but especially the audios, los audios. Sí, noten de lo que les decía, de A W pasa lo mismo con AU, por ejemplo, en la palabra audio, ¿sí?
Audio.
Ajá, that's right. Como decíamos la clase pasada, ¿no? Es como si un gringo les dijera, yo te odio, ¿sí? Right? So that is how you pronounce this, okay? A-U, A-W sounds like O, okay? So in the audio that you get, you might be getting some British English, okay? And then it might become a little bit harder to understand things because the accent is different. Now, I'm not going to give you a full course on British audios, but you might get some. You might get some. So in this class, I would like to address some of the differences between American English and British English, so you can at least take a big step forward in your understanding of this different accent. The difference is not so radical, okay? It's not like a different language, for example. It's just like what happens in Spanish, right? If you listen to somebody from Spain, it's not the same as listening to somebody from Colombia or from Ecuador, or even, you know, Cuenca, Guayaquil, different accents, right? Different accents. But of course, given the big distance, an ocean between British and America, I mean the United States, there's going to be some noticeable differences that I would like to address or to address, okay? So let me show you, well, before we even do this, I'm going to ask you a question, okay? I'm going to ask you a question. It's a very simple question, or maybe not so simple. Pay attention to it. Try to answer, okay? I'm going to ask you a question. What's the meaning of car? One more time. What's the meaning of car?
Auto.
Yeah, good, good. That was good. However, maybe not all of you got him because that was British English, okay? Now, if I ask the same question in American English, it would be, what's the meaning of car? Okay? What's the meaning of car? Maybe that is a lot easier to understand for you. But let's go back to British English. What's the meaning of car? See? See that? Okay, so just for starters, okay? So now, let's take a look at a little video that I want to show you. Okay. And please pay a lot of attention to this video and the different parts that we have in there, okay? Can you see the screen?
No.
Yes.
Right.
Now.
Yes, teacher.
It took a moment, yeah. There was a little lag in there. Le tomó un ratito a la computadora. It took a while, but yeah, I think it's there. Okay, good. So let's take a look at this. Let me set this. The internet is a little bit slow, but yeah, there we go. So please, let's listen to this.
Hello and welcome everyone, this is Minu at AngloLink. Today we're going to look at some differences in American English and British English pronunciation. In order to do that, I've teamed up with my American colleague Rachel, who is going to introduce herself to you now.
I'm Rachel and I have a YouTube channel called Rachel's English. My channel focuses on American English pronunciation. There are videos that go over the specific mouth position for each sound, videos that focus on the rhythm of American English, linking, and videos that show you how to listen for the characteristics of American English. There are over 250 videos with 2 added each week. I hope you'll check them out.
Thank you, Rachel.
So don't forget, this lady, the first lady, is British. So that means she's from what country, probably?
Maybe from London.
Yeah, maybe she's from England, right? Maybe, and yeah, the London accent is very, very particular even within England. But yeah, actually, yeah, I think she's from London because of her particular accent. Okay, but yeah, she's from England, maybe from London, but for sure she's from England, right? Okay, now, and the other girl, the other lady, she's American, right? Remember this, when we say American in English, we're not really saying americano. We're saying estadounidense, which I don't think it's right. No me parece que esté bien, ¿no? Porque es como una... Sí hay un poco de imperialismo ahí, de imposición, pero bueno, en términos prácticos así es. If in English you say American, you are saying that you are from the United States. You're not saying you're from Bolivia or from Argentina or even from Mexico, right? You are saying you are from the United States if you say American in English, okay? And if you say America, also most times you're not referring to the American continent, you are referring to the United States, okay? All right, so this lady is British, the other lady is American, okay? She's from the United States, okay? Let's continue listening. Keep that in mind, please. Tengan eso en mente para que escuchen las diferencias sutiles de pronunciación entre las dos. Keep that in mind so that you can listen to the subtle pronunciation differences between the two, okay?
Okay, I will be focusing on the differences between consonants R and T, and also some very common words that are pronounced differently in American English and British English. Rachel will be focusing on the differences between some vowel sounds. Let's start with the letter R. When the letter R is in the initial position of a word or in the middle of a word, there isn't a huge difference between the way Americans or British people pronounce it.
So, to begin with, when the letter R is one of the main differences between American and British English. So sometimes we have these big differences that always occur, that always happen. And it's good to take a look at those big differences because that can help you understand British English quickly if you were not very familiar with it. Of course, it also takes practice, but this at least is a big step forward in the right direction, okay? So for example, in words like this, in words like, let me see, just a second. In words like this one. So, American English, it's going to be rain. British English, it's also going to be rain. Well, let's write it like this, okay? Like the pronunciation, rain, okay? So the R is pretty much the same in both, okay? The R is pretty much the same in both. If it is, let's make a little table here. Okay, let's put it like this. US, this would be American English, and UK, the United Kingdom, okay? The United States and the United Kingdom. In both, the pronunciation is almost exactly the same, okay? The R the sound of the letter R in the initial position is always pronounced, okay? No matter where you are from. Rain, let's say. So, Jose, you said you liked rock music, okay? So, or a rock, you have, you know, like a stone. Rock. The R is going to be pronounced. American English, rock. British English, rock. But, you know, the R is the same, okay?
Mm,
However, what happens with the R is in a different position. Let's take a look.
However, listen to me saying the following 4 words and then listen to Rachel saying them. Rain,
Rain.
drain,
Drain.
spring,
Spring.
berry.
Berry.
Now, when the
Now, in these words, the pronunciation is almost exactly the same in American English and British English, particularly the letter R. And it was because it was either in the initial position, like in, for example, rain, or near the beginning, like in, for example, spring, okay, or drain. So if it is in the beginning, in the initial position, the letter R, or near the beginning, both Americans and British pronounce it, make it sound like the R, right? Now, and when you have a double R, like in berry, a double R, like, let me see here. Okay.
berry,
So when you have a double R, it is also pronounced in both languages, no matter the position, okay?
Berry.
now when the letter R is in the middle position, in a monosyllabic word and after a vowel, in British English, we tend to drop it. We also drop the letter R at the end of words.
So this is interesting here. She says we drop the letter R. Do you know what is the meaning of drop? D-R-O-P. Do you know what is the meaning of drop?
mm,
Let me show you. So I have can you see me? I have a pencil here in my hand. Can you see me?
Yes.
Right? I have some background music too. Okay, so now I'm going to drop my pencil, okay? Okay? That is to drop, okay? No lanzar, eso sería throw o botar, sino dejar caer algo, that is to drop something, okay? However, when we're speaking about linguistics, about pronunciation, if you say that the British drop the R, it means that they don't pronounce it, okay? Do you get it? Do you understand? So if you drop a letter, it means you don't pronounce the letter. Like, for example, a lot of people from certain parts of the coast of Ecuador, they drop the letter S at the end of words, right? En la costa de nuestro país, en ciudades como Guayaquil, tienden a no pronunciar la S al final de muchas palabras, ¿no es cierto? Sí. That's no solo aquí, sino en varias partes del mundo. That's the tendency, right? So in the case of English, the British tend to drop the R when it is in the final position, okay? So for example, how do you say otro in English?
Other.
Other.
Yes, that's right. And that is, as I heard, that is American English, other. Very good, other. But yes, what happens with British English? How does a British English pronounce this? How does a British person pronounce this?
Ote.
Yes,
Other.
That's right, correct. Yes. Oh, look, this other guest, other, right? Other. Entonces, la R del final, the R in the end, is being dropped. No le están haciendo sonar a la R del final, ¿no es cierto? Right? So, for example, other. The example I said in the beginning. In American English, how do you say carro in American English?
Car.
Car.
Exactly. But how do you say the same thing in British English?
Car.
Excellent, excellent. That sounded so British. Eso sonó tan británico. Very good, very good. Yes. Car. Uh-huh. For example, if I want to say, ¿Dónde está mi carro? And I'm British. Where's my car? Where's my car? Right? Okay. Ahora, también hay una cosita, saliéndome un instante del tema de las letras. Solo les digo esto en español por lo siguiente. Noten esto. ¿Sí? También hay una cuestión de entonación general un poquito. ¿Qué estamos haciendo con nuestro aparato fonatorio? Entre laringe, faringe, nariz. Hay un algo que se hace distinto en el inglés estadounidense y en el inglés británico. Esto puede parecer chistoso, pero pónganle atención, sigan conmigo. Voy un rato a fingir que soy alguien de Estados Unidos que está hablando en español, pero con un acento muy pesado de Estados Unidos, alguien que todavía no tiene un acento muy similar al acento español, ¿ok? Voy a hacerme el gringo que está hablando en español en este momento, ¿ok? Entonces estoy hablando en español, pero como si fuera alguien de Estados Unidos que tiene todavía un acento muy pesado. Entonces, notan el sonido de mi voz. Este tiende a ser el sonido de la voz. This tends to be the sound of the voice. This L tiende a ser el sonido de la voz. When I, the enunciation, la enunciación, when I speak in American English, right? Ese tiende a ser. En cambio, si es que soy alguien de Inglaterra, la entonación tiende a ser un poco diferente, ¿sí? Soy este momento alguien de el Reino Unido que está hablando en español y tengo esta entonación un poco diferente, ¿ok? Did you get some? There is like a little difference in intonation, right? That is also important. That is also important. Just in general terms. So for example, again, one more time, but let's go back to the R's, okay? Let's go back to the R's. Regresemos a lo de la R. American English, other. British English, other. American English, car. British English, car. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay? Now, notice this. It's not just for the final R's we have a difference, but also when the R is near the end of a word. También para cuando la R está cerca del final de una palabra, ¿no? Cuando la R está justo antes de la siguiente letra, es la penúltima letra. When it is the penultimate letter, the letter before the last letter of a word, we also have this thing that the British drop the R. For example, let's go back one. So this is other, but let's go back one.
We also drop the letter R at the end of words in British English and after a vowel.
So, for example, in this case, well, you know, this is girar, virar, right? In American English, this would be turn, turn. También puede ser turno, ¿no? It's my turn, it's my turn. Or gira a la derecha, turn right, turn left. Okay, turn. But in British English, turn, turn. Notan, prácticamente no suena esa R, ¿no es cierto? That's right. So let's listen again.
Now, when the letter R is in the middle position,
She says the middle position, but that's not very accurate. It's more like it's the one before the last letter.
in a monosyllabic word and after a vowel,
No nos interesa tanto complicarnos con esto. Esto es cuando sea la R antes de la última letra, ¿no? Y precedido de una vocal, eso sí.
in British English, we tend to drop it. We also drop the letter R at the end of words in British English, whereas in American English, there is no difference.
So in American English, there is no difference. So the Americans always pronounce the R, no matter the position, okay? The British pronounce the R only if the R is in the initial position, if it is the first letter or near the initial position, okay? So if it is the second letter of the word, right? But if it is the penultimate letter, si es que es la penúltima letra, or the final letter, o la última letra, then they drop it. They don't pronounce it, okay?
Now, I'd like you to listen to me say the following words and then listen to Rachel saying the same word immediately.
Don't forget, this lady is British, the other lady, Rachel, is American, okay?
Birth,
Birth.
turn,
turn,
learn,
learn,
work,
work,
germ,
germ,
farm,
farm,
other,
other,
clever,
clever,
director.
director.
Right then, let's move on.
Okay, very good. So, for example, how do you say aprender in American English? How do you say aprender?
Learn.
Learn.
Yes,
Learn.
of course.
Learn.
But how do you say aprender in British English?
Learn.
Learn.
Yes, like learn, right? I need to
Learn.
learn how to speak in British English, okay? Learn. Noten, claro, tampoco es simplemente como decir len, ¿sí? No como en el acento latino. Hay un algo en la garganta, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, eso importa también, ¿sí? Learn, learn. Let's repeat, learn.
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 Perfect. That sounded simple. Now, let me, before we continue, just a little parenthesis, important parenthesis here. This doesn't mean that you have to speak in British English, okay? This doesn't mean that you have to speak in British. I'm not asking you to change your pronunciation, okay? Esto no significa que tengan necesariamente que hablar en inglés británico. Pero el hacer estos ejercicios, el decirlos un poco, también facilita su oído, ¿sí? Porque incluso si no, yo no tengo la obligación de hablar en inglés británico si me siento más cómodo con el inglés de Estados Unidos, pero de alguna forma la vida sí me obliga un poco a entender el inglés británico porque es muy probable que escuche gente de ahí, ¿sí? O que, como les decía hace un momento, as I told you a moment ago, you go take an exam for a master's or something, and the audios that you get are British, okay? And this happens, esto sucede. El pronunciar yo, el tratar de imitar el acento británico al pronunciar, también me ayuda a recordar cómo suena, ¿sí? Y es no solamente por el hecho práctico de hacerlo, sino conexiones neurolingüísticas del área de Broca y Wernicke en el cerebro, una serie de cosas, ¿no? So, yeah, there's a lot. So that helps, okay? That helps. So you're making like some phonetic awareness, right? Un poco de conciencia fonética, fonológica más que fonética, ¿no? So let's continue with this. Let's listen to a bit more. So that's the R, right? That's what happens with the letter R. Summing up, Americans always pronounce the R. It doesn't matter where it is. The British only pronounce the R if it is in the beginning or near the beginning. If it is in the end or near the end, they drop it. They don't pronounce it, okay? Listen to the differences one more time, okay? Let's listen to the differences one more time. Don't forget, this lady is British, the other lady is American, okay?
Then listen to Rachel saying the same word immediately. Birth,
Birth,
turn,
turn,
learn,
learn,
work,
work,
germ,
germ,
farm,
farm,
other,
other,
clever,
clever,
director.
director.
And then, of course, well, you have that particular difference in that word that one said director and the other said director, right? So sometimes you have some, other than the general differences, you have some specific differences. So that's it for the letter R. But there's another letter that usually has important differences in pronunciation. Do you know what, in American and British English, do you know what that letter is? It's the letter T, okay? So let's continue watching.
Right then, let's move on to letter T. In standard British English, the letter T is always pronounced as a T. Whether it is at the beginning of a word, in the middle of a word, or at the end of a word.
So now it's the other way around. Ahora es al revés. The British always pronounce the T, no matter the position. Okay, so first of all, let's consider this a little bit. En general, la T del inglés británico, pero también la T inicial del inglés, no suena tanto como la T del español, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, en español yo digo, mi amigo es tan tonto. En inglés diría, mi amigo es tan, no tan, ¿sí? Tan tonto, ¿sí? Entonces, ese es el sonido de la T en inglés, all right? No es tan plano como el sonido del español. Por ejemplo, mesa. How do you say mesa in English?
Table.
Table.
Yes, correct. However, háganle sonar a la T un poco más susurrante, si se quiere. Es como que más aire fluye, ¿no? No es solamente T, sino T.
Table.
Yes,
Table.
very good. Yes, correct. Very good. So let's say mesa one more time. Table.
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 Awesome. Very good. Entonces no suena tan table, no tan, sino más bien table. Ajá.
Table.
Igual, la lengua está en la misma posición, ¿no? Como detrás de los dientes. Table, ¿sí? Justo tocando los dientes de arriba posiblemente y también parte del paladar, si ustedes lo sienten, ¿no? Table. Y muy parecido a lo que haríamos en español, pero hago que el sonido se quede un poco más, es un sonido ligeramente más grande, menos plano, menos cortante, ¿no? Very good. Ahora, en inglés de Estados Unidos sí va a haber una diferencia en ciertos casos, pero noten, inglés británico siempre la pronunciamos. In British English, we always pronounce it. Okay, so for example, again, table, attain, cut. Okay, no dirán cut, cut. All right, very good. Let's repeat. Okay, table.
Table.
Awesome. Very good. Attain.
Attain.
Excellent. Cut. Very good. Let's repeat that one more time. Cut. Very good. Okay. Now so British English, you always pronounce the T. Let's see what happens in American English.
Whether it's a stressed syllable or unstressed syllable. For example, listen to these 4 words: table, attain, what, cut. However, in American English, they tend to drop the T in the final position.
So heard that? The other way, al revés de lo que pasaba con la R. In American English, they tend to drop the T in the final position. La R la dropeaban. It was dropped, no la pronunciaban los británicos cuando estaba al final o cerca del final. En cambio, la T, los británicos más bien la pronuncian siempre, así como los gringos siempre pronuncian la R, pero los estadounidenses, los gringos, tienden a no pronunciar mucho la T cuando está al final. Let's hear this.
So now listen to Rachel saying these 4 words.
Table. Attain.
Hasta ahí todo bien, igual que el británico. Table, attain, está cerca del comienzo.
What? Cut.
Pero notaron ahí, británico, what. Notan esa T al final, británico, what. American, what. Ajá, es como que de todas maneras la lengua está terminando justo en la misma posición para pronunciar la T, pero es como que no hago salir más aire, ¿no? No le hago sonar más. Es como que pongo la lengua para pronunciar la T, pero mis cuerdas vocales y el aire de mis pulmones se detienen, ¿sí? So, again, British, what. American, what. Okay?
Okay.
The same with cortar. British English, cut. Cut. Yes. But American English, cut. Yes. Do you notice? ¿Lo notan?
Yes.
All right, very good. Let's continue.
Now listen to her. They tend to drop the T in the final position. So now listen to Rachel saying these 4 words.
Table.
Eso igual británico y estadounidense, ¿no es cierto? Table, la T del inicio, todos la pronuncian.
Attain.
Igual, si la T está cerca del comienzo, todos la pronuncian. Británico o estadounidense, attain. American or British, they both pronounce it, attain.
What? Cut.
That's the difference.
Now listen to her saying the words what and cut again. What,
What?
cut.
Cut.
Now in American English, when the letter T is in the middle position,
So that is one big difference, right? So the British always pronounce the T like T, T. The Americans drop it when it's in the final position. But here's another difference. Here's another difference. So please pay attention to this part, okay? Let's go back.
T is in the middle position in a word, it sometimes changes to a soft D. This happens either when it's between two vowels or when it's between an R and a vowel.
The classical example. The classical example. So, well, first, let's go back to
Or
this.
when it's between an R and a vowel.
How do you say fiesta in English? How do you say fiesta in English?
Party.
Party.
Yeah, you said party, right? Party. That is American English. Party, right? Party. Cuando la T, when the T is between vowels, está entre vocales, or between an R and a vowel. Claro, bueno, la Y, ustedes me dirán es consonante, pero para términos fonéticos en inglés suena como vocal. So, when the T is between two vowels, or between an R and a vowel, we tend to palatalize it. Se tiende a palatalizar. ¿Qué es eso? Por ejemplo, ustedes lo dijeron bien. Party, party. Estamos haciendo como el sonido, ella dijo una V suave, pero sería la V del inglés, es como el sonido de la R en español. ¿A qué quiero ir con esto? No el sonido de la R en inglés, no R, no sino el sonido de la R en español, cuando tienen una sola, no dos, porque eso sería R o R, ¿no es cierto? En Cuenca R. Pero cuando digo, por ejemplo, la palabra pero, ¿cómo está sonando la R en pero? Si ustedes dicen otra palabra para rostro en español, ¿cuál es un sinónimo de rostro?
Cara.
Cara.
Correcto. Cuando ustedes hacen sonar esa R, ¿cómo suena? Cara, pero, para, loro, ¿sí? Y etcétera, ¿no? La R del español, la T, les digo desde aquí, la T en inglés estadounidense, cuando está entre vocales o entre una R y una vocal, tiende a sonar como la R del español. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo suena la T aquí? En inglés de Estados Unidos, party, party, ¿no es cierto? Como la R del español, party, party, ¿sí? However, in British English, they always pronounce the T. ¿Cómo creen que suena esto en inglés británico?
Party.
Yes, perfect. Awesome. Very good. Party. So, for example, I am American. Let's go to a party this Saturday. Okay, let's go to a party this Saturday. British, let's go to a party this Saturday. Okay, one more time. American, let's go to a party this Saturday. British, let's go to a party this Saturday. Okay, y noten, adrede puse el día sábado. Let's go back one word. If the T is between vowels, again, this happens in English, right? British English, Saturday, Saturday, because they always pronounce the T, okay? Saturday. However, American English, Saturday, not an Saturday, como la R del español, Saturday, okay? Let's say it in British English first, okay? Let's say sábado in British English, Saturday. Can you repeat?
Saturday.
Yes. Now let's say it in American English if you can. Saturday.
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 Awesome.
Saturday.
Perfect. Very good. You make me proud. Me enorgullecen. Very good. Yeah, very good. Excellent. Oh, just one little thing. Just one little thing. Notice that a little typo here, una pequeña falta de ortografía. Los días de la semana en inglés siempre son con mayúscula. En español no, pero en inglés sí, ¿ok? The days of the week are always capitalized in English, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, very good. So one more time. American English, Saturday. British English, Saturday. Okay, let's continue. And well, yeah, let's continue. Let's continue.
Or when it's between an R and a vowel. So now listen to how I pronounce the following words and immediately to how Rachel pronounces them. Saturday.
Saturday.
Waiter.
Waiter.
That was interesting because there you also have the R, right? So, well, first of all, what is the meaning of waiter?
Mesero.
Yes, correct. And that's American English, right? Waiter. How do you pronounce this in British English?
Waiter.
Yeah, waiter. Y noten aquí, claro, me pasan las dos cosas, que los británicos siempre pronuncian la T, pero cuando es la R del final no la hacen sonar, ¿no? Entonces es un buen ejemplo para ambas letras. Nuevamente, británico, British, waiter, waiter. La T siempre marcada, la R no sonada al final. Waiter. En cambio, inglés de Estados Unidos, American English, waiter, waiter. La R del final está sonando, ¿no es cierto? Waiter. Pero la T entre vocales está palatalizada, como la R del español. Waiter, waiter. ¿Ok?
Waiter.
Yes. Let's say it one more time. American English. Waiter.
Waiter.
Very good. And now, British English. Waiter.
Waiter.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Awesome. Let's continue listening.
Matter.
Matter.
Atta.
Atta.
That's also interesting. A veces tienen dos palabras, pero son dos palabras seguidas, ¿no es cierto? Por ejemplo, él está en una reunión. He's at a meeting. Perdón, hagámoslo británico. He's at a meeting, right? Él está en una reunión. He is at a meeting. At a meeting, ¿no es cierto? At a. Pero si es inglés de estadounidense, if it is American English, he's at a meeting. At a meeting. Yes, at a. Entre el at y el a son dos palabras, pero se hacen como solo una al pronunciarlo con fluidez, pues, ¿no es cierto? So, he's at a meeting. He's at a meeting, right? In British English, he's at a meeting. Okay? Let's continue.
What about?
What about?
The same, right? So two followed words. ¿Qué hay de sería, ¿no es cierto? What about you, right? So American English, what about? British English, what's about? Okay? Let's see.
Atta.
What about?
Let's repeat that. Let's repeat that in British English, okay? What's about? Let's repeat, everybody. What about? Let's repeat. Turn on your microphones, okay? What about?
What about?
What about?
Yes, British English, one more time. What about?
What about?
Yes. Very good. Now let's go with American English, okay? What about?
What about?
What about?
What about?
Ajá, that's right. Noten, suena como inglés, en el inglés estadounidense, nuevamente. La T suena como la R del español, no R, la R, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, what about, en cámara lenta, ¿no es cierto? What about. Es como si estuviese escribiendo H-U-A-R-A, ¿no es cierto? What, right? What about? What about? That's American English, by the way, okay? Okay, good. Let's continue.
What about?
Party.
Party.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Part of.
Part of.
And finally,
Okay, one more time, okay? Let's listen to all of this one more time. Sorry. Okay. Let's listen, please, again.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Waiter.
Waiter.
Matter.
Matter.
Atta.
Atta.
What about?
What about?
Party.
Party.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Part of.
Part of.
And finally, in American English, the letter T is sometimes dropped.
So here goes another difference regarding the T's between British and American English, okay? Again, in British English, you always pronounce the T, okay? In British English, you always pronounce the T. But in American English, sometimes they drop it, okay? Let's listen.
English, the letter T is sometimes dropped after an N.
And that is the key. Sometimes after an N, they tend to drop the T. Eso no significa no escribirlo, no, sino simplemente no pronunciarlo, right? They drop it, okay?
For example, in British English, we would say center, interview, internet. Now listen to how Rachel pronounces them.
Center, interview, internet.
So did you get it? Did you understand? In American English, well, I'm sorry, let's go back. British English. Okay.
Pronounces them.
Center, interview, internet.
So in British English, center, interview, internet. But in American English, center, no suena la T, no? Interview, internet. Okay? Let's repeat. Center,
Center.
interview,
Interview.
Interview.
internet.
Internet.
Very good. In American English, that's usually how they say it. That's right. Very good.
Center,
Center,
interview,
interview,
internet.
internet.
Okay, that's all for the consonants R and T. Now we're going to look at some
So basically, yeah, those are two big differences between American English and British English when it comes to pronunciation, right? The R's and the T's. Summing up, resumiendo, all right? Just a second. Okay, just a second here. So, summing up. So, in American English, the R, the letter R, is always pronounced. However, in British English, well, the R is always pronounced, and the T is dropped at the end of words. Like, for example, in cut or what. Americans pronounce it cut, what, okay? The T is palatalized, se palataliza, like the Spanish. Se pronuncia como la R del español. If it is between vowels, recuerden que con frecuencia la Y se considera vocal en estos casos, ¿sí? Between vowels or between R and vowel, okay? For example, let's put it like this, sorry. For example, Saturday, party, matter, something that they didn't mention in the video, but it's one of the most typical examples, right? How do you say agua in American English?
Water.
Yes, perfect, perfect. Water. How do you say agua in British English?
Water.
Yes, awesome. Great, excellent. Water. I'm American. I'm going to drink some water. I'm British. I'm going to drink some water. Okay? Good, very good. So, and finally, the T, this is American English, is not pronounced in certain words after N, after the letter N. Like, for example, in center, well, center. This is another little difference. The British and the Americans spell this letter different. Okay, so center, interview, internet. So center, interview, internet, and some more examples like that. Okay. Okay. So this is all for American English. Okay. These are the American English peculiarities regarding the R and the T. Okay. Now let's go with British English. Okay. Or should I say British English, right? Okay, let's go with this. So the R is pronounced at the beginning or near the beginning of words. For example, rain, train, drop, right? But, so let's go with that. Now, the R is dropped at the end of words or near the end after a vowel and before a consonant. Let's put, well, at the end of words, let's write some examples here, okay? Like, for example, other, car, bar, here, all right? Pero claro, aquí tengo una E después, pero el último sonido es R, ¿no? Entonces, por eso decimos que es al final, all right? Here, or near the end, after a vowel and before a consonant. Let's not put this in parentheses. After a vowel and before a consonant. If you're wondering, I am going to send this Word file that I'm making right now to you via WhatsApp, okay? All right, so the R is dropped and, well, like for example, so near the end, after a vowel and before a consonant, like for example in turn, right? This would be turn in British English, right? Turn. Bond. Esto es granero, por si acaso se me ocurrió esta palabra, ¿no? Bond. Let's say learn, right? Okay?
Okay.
All right, good. Now, yet in British English, the letter T is always pronounced, okay? And those are the things with British English, basically. So you will always pronounce the T. Let me just save this for you. American, British English. Just a second, in case I lose it or something. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's a sum up of the differences between R's and T's. However, you also have some particular differences. I'm not going to ask you to memorize them, but just so that you have an idea. There are also some specific words that we don't fit in a general rule. También hay palabras específicas que no caben dentro de una regla muy general, pero que sin embargo se pronuncian distinto entre el inglés británico y el de Estados Unidos. Noten, misma palabra, distinta pronunciación. Y aquí no hay una regla, sino esto es las diferencias peculiares que sería cuestión de irles grabando con el tiempo y todo. No les pido que se memoricen, ¿ok? De momento. Pero sí que tengan un poco la conciencia de esto, all right? Just to have a little bit of awareness about this. So let's go back to the video for a moment. Okay?
Some very common words in English that are pronounced quite differently in British English and American English. So I'm going to say them, and then you will listen to how Rachel says them. The letter Z.
The letter Z.
That's interesting, right? Well, first, before we continue with the differences between American English and British English, how do you say zeta, the letter zeta in English? How do you say that letter?
Sí.
Z.
Yeah, that's right. However, notice this, noten esto. ¿Cómo se dice C? Esto ya no es inglés americano versus británico, sino en inglés americano simplemente. ¿Cómo se dice la C? How do you say that letter, C, and how do you say zeta? What's the difference?
C
And
and D.
Yeah, that's right. Very good. La C, sí. Como decir sí en español, ¿no? Sí. La Z, Z. Z. Muy bien. Lo dijeron bien, sí. Z, así es. Right? That's how you pronounce it. Es como los árabes que hacen así con las S, ¿no es cierto? Right? That's how you pronounce Z. 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 Okay? However, notice that in British English, to spell the letter, para deletrear, ¿no es cierto? Por ejemplo, para decir cuál es el nombre de la letra, no le dicen Z como un gringo, sino le dicen Z. Raro, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, para un británico, el alfabeto sería A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. ¿Sí? Okay, very good. Let's see again.
And then you will
Ahora, sin embargo, tiene el Z, el mismo que en inglés de Estados Unidos, ¿no? Sino que en inglés de Estados Unidos, Z. En inglés británico, Z. Okay?
listen to how Rachel says. The letter Z.
The letter Z.
New.
New.
Adult.
Adult.
Ahí notaron, la única diferencia está en la sílaba que está entonada, en la sílaba que está acentuada, perdón, right? So, the stressed syllable. Recuerden, cuando en inglés hablen de lingüística y digan stress, no se están refiriendo al estrés emocional, sino se están refiriendo a dónde está el acento en una palabra, ¿sí? Stress. So, the stress changes in some words in American English and British English. Let's listen to this again. Bueno, new, los británicos hacen sonar más esa E como I, ¿no? New, los gringos es más como si se escribiese N-U, new, right?
New.
New.
Adult.
Adult.
So for a British person, adult. Yeah, I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing. I'm an adult. But for an American, adult. Yeah, she's an adult. Adult. Okay?
Brochure.
Brochure.
Again, in this case, the only difference is the stress, right? Folleto, no? Brochure and brochure.
Garage.
Garage.
Again, garage and garage. Only the stress changes in these words, right?
Address.
Address.
Again, address, address. Ahora, lo malo es que cambia, pero no siempre de la misma forma. A veces para un británico es en la primera sílaba el acento. No me refiero a tilde con acento, no, sino al acento fonético, al acento que suena. ¿Sí? A veces para un británico es en la primera sílaba y para un gringo es en la segunda o en la tercera. A veces, en cambio, para un británico es en la segunda o tercera, para un gringo es en la primera. Entonces, esto varía medio random, ¿sí? No, es solo un tema un poco de memoria, pero por memoria me refiero no a cogerse y grabarse una lista, sino práctica, escuchar mucho. ¿Sí? All right?
Laboratory.
Laboratory.
Route.
Route.
Now, this one is interesting. First of all, what is the meaning of route? What is the meaning of route? Do you know? Es ruta. What do you use for your internet connection? For your internet connection, what's the device? ¿Cómo se llama el aparato que usan?
Router.
Yes, it's a router. Router. Y algunas personas dicen router y también tienen razón. So, router would be American English and ruta would be British English because ruta, literalmente router sería enrutador, ¿no? Le da la ruta a lo que viene del módem, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, para un gringo, ruta, route. Para un británico, route. Okay? Listen again.
Laboratory.
Laboratory.
Route.
Route.
Advertisement.
Advertisement.
Controversy.
Controversy.
patent,
patent,
apricot,
apricot,
vase,
vase.
Ahí fueron varias. Ustedes saben, ¿cómo pronuncio solamente la letra A en inglés? La letra A como del alfabeto.
Ey.
A. Y en muchas palabras suena así, ¿no es cierto? Por ejemplo, qué sé yo, serpiente se escribe snake, pero se pronuncia snake, ¿no es cierto? Entonces a veces la A suena A, pero muchas veces la A suena A. Por ejemplo, manzana, apple, ¿no es cierto? A veces la A suena A simplemente. Ahí vemos algunas diferencias entre el británico y el estadounidense, que a veces los gringos le hacen sonar A y los británicos a veces al revés, los británicos A y los gringos A, entonces varía un poco y es como digo, memoria, right? Okay, very good.
hurricane,
Hurricane,
inquiry,
inquiry,
leisure,
leisure,
either,
either,
neither.
neither.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this part of the lesson. To continue,
All right, so again, these I'm not expecting you to memorize, to know them. No, I'm not going to ask you to do that. Just keep those little differences in mind, okay? So the big difference that I do want you to remember well is the differences between the R and the T, okay? And then keep in mind that the British and the Americans also have some peculiar differences in pronunciation for some words. No lo volvieron a mencionar aquí, pero por ejemplo, director, ¿no? Para un británico es director, para un gringo es director, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, algunas diferencias particulares. Y también, una cosa más. There are also some differences in words that are completely different, ¿ok? En este caso, la diferencia de pronunciación, pero también es verdad que hay vocabulario que es completamente diferente, no mucho, ¿no? O sea, es una pequeña minoría, pero la hay, de vocabulario que es completamente diferente entre el inglés británico y el estadounidense. Y esto no es tan diferente a lo que pasa con el español. This is not so different from Spanish, right? So, for example, if we make popcorn, how do you say popcorn in Ecuador? How do you say popcorn in Ecuador?
Canguil.
Canguil, ¿no es cierto? Yes, canguil. That's right. But how do you say popcorn in Mexico?
Palomitas.
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 That's right. Very good. How do you say popcorn in Venezuela?
Cotufas.
Cotufas, sí. Y probablemente en Ecuador ya también les digamos así eventualmente, ¿no es cierto? That's right. Very good. Just kidding. Okay, very good. Entonces, how do you say avocado or avocado? Noten, ese es otro británico gringo, ¿sí? How do you say avocado in Spanish? Do you know what is that?
Aguacate.
Aguacate.
Aguacate, that's right. But how do you say avocado in Peru? Do you know that?
No, I don't know.
Es palta, no.
Yes, that's right. That's right. In Peru, they don't call it aguacate. Le llaman palta. So things like that, right? So things like that also happen between British English and American English, okay? Let me show you some of these. Let me show you a few of these, okay? Okay, let's go to the Word file again. All right. So let's make a little table here. All right, so again, let's do American and let's do British English. Let me remember some of these, okay? How do you say in American English, how do you say camión?
Truck.
Yep,
Truck.
very good, truck. But the British don't call them trucks. The British call them lorries. Lorry. Nada que ver, ¿no es cierto? That's a good one. Now, how do you say in English departamento? I mean, the place where you live, departamento.
Apartment.
Apartment, very good. Apartment, yes, very good. Por ahí alguien a lo mejor duda y dice, no es department. Sí, department también se traduce como departamento, pero en el sentido de la sección de algo. Por ejemplo, en una empresa, el departamento de ventas, el departamento de compatibilidad, el departamento de contabilidad, perdón, ¿sí? Entonces eso sería department. The sales department, the accountability department, etc., right? Las secciones de una empresa, de una tienda, por ejemplo, a department store es una tienda de secciones. You have the, I don't know, the domestic appliances department, el departamento de electrodomésticos, the clothing department, el departamento de ropa y así, ¿cierto? En ese caso, department. Pero sí, ustedes bien lo dijeron, cuando es el lugar donde vivo es apartment. However, this is for the
Teacher,
Americans. Yes. Question?
but in English, you say it's not flat apartment, like
In
I
British
hear a
English,
lot.
in British English,
It's flat.
flat. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Jose. Exactly, that's the thing. So
Because
in
I hear in some serious movies or conversation, because I one particularity of my family is I have cousins from USA and one cousin from the UK, and my uncle is from UK, so I familiarized with the UK English and American English.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much, Jose. Exactly. That's what it is. So yeah. Usually, however, sometimes some things happen. Like for example, some people, since the world is more globalized now, you have the internet, you have some TV shows and everything from everywhere. So some Americans start calling them flats, and some British start calling them apartments as well. Do you get it? But yeah, but very good, Jose. And the general difference is that usually American English apartment, British English flat. Correct. Igual que plano, ¿no? Asumo que es porque si ustedes comparan la forma de una casa de 2 pisos con la de un departamento en un edificio, por ejemplo, es medio plano un departamento, ¿no es cierto? Como flat es plano, entonces se le dice así, right? Flat. Very good. Another difference here. How do you say ascensor? For example, in a building, how do you say ascensor in English?
Elevator.
Elevator. Correct. Elevator. But the British call it lift. Yes, correct. A lift. What is lift? Lift is levantar. En inglés, sea de donde sea, americano o británico, estadounidense o británico. Levantar pesas, por ejemplo, lift weights. O ayúdame a levantar esta mesa. Help me lift this table, ¿no? Pero por lo mismo, el elevador en inglés británico se llama lift. Okay, very good. There are other differences. Like, for example, how do you say pantalón in English? Pants. That's right. In American English, it's pants. But in British English, no. In British English, it is trousers. Sorry. Trousers. Okay? Okay, and sin embargo, sí existe la palabra pants en inglés de británico, pero tiene un significado muy diferente. Pants en inglés británico son los panties en inglés de Estados Unidos. Entonces, importante no confundir eso, ¿no es cierto? Right? Entonces, la ropa interior femenina son pants en inglés británico. En inglés de Estados Unidos, en cambio, pants es pantalón. All right? So be careful with that, okay? A friend of mine went to live in England for a while and he spoke English. Un amigo mío hace muchos años, ¿no? Cuando estábamos en la universidad, fue a vivir en Inglaterra un tiempo, hizo un posgrado allá y me contó que había una chica con la que conversaba, que le gustaba, ¿no? Y él le había dicho alguna vez por halagarle, I like your pants. Y ella le dijo, how do you know? ¿Cómo sabes? Entonces, claro, tienen que tener cuidado con eso, en ese caso en particular. All right, now, as I told you yesterday, let's take a break now because we are out of time. Esto ya mismo debe morir la sesión porque solo tenemos 1 hora y media. Let's take a 10-minute break y luego nos conectamos con el segundo link que les envié, ¿sí?
Okay.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, thank you very much. See you in a moment then.
Bye, teacher.
Goodbye. See you.
Bye.
Un momento.
See you in a moment. That's right.
Bye, teacher.
Mhm. Bye for now.